Okay, topic being self-taught, au- autodidact. What does being self-taught mean to you? Being self-taught means taking responsibility for one's own learning process without depending exclusively on formal education. It involves curiosity, discipline, and motivation to acquire knowledge independently. A self-taught person actively looks for information, practices skills, and reflects on what they learn. For me, being self-taught represents autonomy and a proactive attitude toward personal and professional growth. Why is being self-taught important today? Being self-taught is especially important in today's world because knowledge changes rapidly. Many skills become outdated quickly, and formal education alone is often not enough. Self-learning allows people to update their skills, and remain competitive. It also empowers individuals to learn at their own pace and according to their own interests. And what qualities does a self-taught person need? A self-taught person needs discipline, perseverance, and self-motivation. Time management is essential because learning must be organized and consistent. Curiosity and critical thinking are also important, since self-learning requires evaluating information carefully. Additionally, patience is necessary because progress may be slow at times. For what challenge do self-taught learners face? One of the main challenges is lack of structure. Without guidance, it can be difficult to know where to start or how to progress. Motivation can also decrease without external pressure or evaluation. Another challenge is verifying the quality of information, especially in the digital age where misinformation is common. However, this challenge can be overcome with planning and reflection. 5. How can someone become more self-taught? To become more self-taught, a person should start by setting clear learning goals, creating a routine, and using reliable source is essential. Keeping notes, practicing regularly, and evaluating progress help maintain consistency. Seeking feedback from others, even informally, can also strengthen learning. 6. What role does technology play in self-learning? Technology plays a fundamental role in self-learning. Online course, videos, podcasts, digital books, and forums provide access to information that was once limited. Technology allows learners to connect with global communities and learn from different perspectives. However, it also requires responsibility and discernment to avoid distractions. 7. Is being self-taught enough for professional success? Being self-taught can be enough in many areas, especially when combined with practice and experience. However, in some professions, formal education is still necessary. Ideally, self-learning should complement formal training together. They create a stronger and more flexible and professional profile. 8. How does being self-taught influence personal growth? Self-learning promotes independence and self-confidence. When people realize they can learn on their own, they feel more capable and empowered. It also strengthens problem-solving skill and adaptability. Being self-taught encourages lifelong learning, which is essential for continuous personal development. And what examples of self-learning can you mention? Examples of self-learning include learning a new language, acquiring leader skills, reading specialist books of developing emotional and social skills through reflection and practice. Many people learn skills such as programming, design, or psychology concepts independently. These experiences show that learning is not limited to classrooms. Then, why is being self-taught relate to responsibility and maturity? Being self-taught requires taking ownership of one's learning process. There is not external authority controlling progress, so responsibility and maturity are essential. A self-taught person must recognize their limitations, seek improvement, and stay commitment, commit, commit. This process builds char- character, and self-discipline, which are valuable in all areas of life. Okay, the Midnight Library by Matt Haig. String theory. When she was younger, her dad used to stand by the side of the swimming pool, clenched jawed, his eyes darting between a stopwatch and his daughter as she tried to be her personal best. Sweet hope of that long gone, look at judgment that often met her after a burst of effort. As she now arrived breathless and late for her afternoon shift string theory. I'm sorry, she told Neil. In the scruffy little windowless box of an office, my cat died last night, and I had to bury him. Well, someone helped me bury him, but I was left alone in my flat and I couldn't. I slept and forgot to set the alarm and didn't wake up till midday, and I had to rush. These words are true, and she imagined her appearance, including make-up free face, loose makeshift ponytail, and same second-hand corduroy pinafore and dress she had worn to work all week, garnished with a general air of tired despair. Wool backed her up, Nate looked up from his computer and leaned back in his chair. He joined his hands together and made a stipple on his index fingers, which he placed under his chin, as if he was Confucius than the boss of a musical equipment, so dealing with a late Floyd. There was a massive Fleetwood Mac poster on the wall behind him, the top right corner of which had come unstuck and flopped down like a puppy's ear. Um, ear, a puppy's ear. Listen, Nora, I like you. Name was harmless. A 50-something guitar aficionado who liked cracking bad jokes and playing baseball. All Dylan covers live in the store. And I know you've got mental health stuff. Everyone's got mental health stuff. You know what I mean. I'm feeling much better generally. She lied. It's not clinical. The doctor says it's institutional depression. It's just that I keep on having new situations, but I haven't taken a day or six or for it all, apart from when my mom, yeah, apart from that. Next, see it. When he did so, he made a whistling sound of his nose and ominous B flat. Nora, how long have you worked here? 12 years, and she knew this too well. 11 months and 3 days on and off. That's a long time. I feel like you are made for better things. And you're in your late 30s. I'm 35. You've got so much going for you. You teach people piano. One person. He brushed a crumb of his sweater. And did you picture yourself stuck in your hometown and working in a shop? You know, when you were 14, what did you picture yourself as? At 14, a swimmer. She'd been the fastest 14 years old girl in the country at breaststroke and second fastest freestyle. She remembers standing on a podium at national swimming championships. So what happened? She closed her eyes. She remembered declaring this disappointment of finishing second. It was a lot of pressure. Pressure makes us thought. You start off uh, and the pressure makes you a demon. She didn't correct his knowledge of demons. Uh, she didn't tell him that while coal and demons are both carbon, coal is too import to be able, under whatever pressure, to become a demon according to science. To start off a coal and you end up as coal, maybe that was the real life lesson.